Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Two Shores, One Story. I'm your host, Matthew Somerville. Before this, I talked about myself and I shared some information about the podcast. But now it's time to actually share some stories, and I'm so excited. If you read the whole title of this episode, you know what I'm going to be talking about today. But for those who haven't, today I want to talk about my first few days as a JET participant. There are probably many ALT or assistant language teachers who have shared their accounts of this, but I think mine is a bit interesting and unique, so I wanted to talk about it today. So without further ado, let's get started. My first day as a JET participant began when I stepped into the Consulate General's office residence in Calgary, Alberta for the last orientation, and I made quite the entrance. First of all, I brought my entire luggage with me, which included 2 large suitcases, a carry-on, a backpack, and a violin. And luckily, my parents were there with me, and we put the luggage in the designated area of the house, and I said one last goodbye to my mom and dad before finding my seat. Now, everyone was wearing their JET attire, of course. I wore a suit with a shirt that was a little bit too tight. So for those who are going to the JET program, make sure to check the size of your shirts before you leave. I also wore a nice tie. And I also had my fancy shoes on, which I got way back in 2019. And during that time, it was a bit hot. It was a bit hot. In fact, they told us that we didn't need to wear a necktie, but I still did because I wanted to be fancy, but it was rough. The orientation itself went well. There were many speakers there, and yeah, it was good. I met a lot of wonderful JET participants. They were all nice. The food was great. We took some pictures, and then it was time to go to our hotel. So for those who were out of the city, were able to stay in a hotel. So I was one of those people. So I did that. I met my hotel buddy, and we went to the hotel via Uber, and we were all excited. We're talking, we're a little bit nervous too. Like, I can't believe we're going to Japan tomorrow. Like that kind of stuff. And we also had small talk, getting to know each other. Like, where are you going? What's your placement? That kind of stuff. We did that. And we arrived at the hotel. I brought my huge amount of luggage, and thanks to my hotel buddy, because he helped me. We entered the room, and I'm thinking, finally, I can change out of my fancy clothes because, again, it was hot. I was so exhausted. I just wanted to wear sweatpants and lay on the bed, right? And then that's where things go wrong. And you might be wondering what happened. I will tell you. So I take off my shoes first, obviously, because I can't get my pants off if I have my shoes on. But I took them off incorrectly. Basically, what happened, sometimes when you take off your shoes, you step on the other shoe and you lift your foot off to take your foot out of the shoe. When you're wearing fancy shoes, don't do that. Don't do it. Because when I did that, I accidentally separated the sole from the other part of the shoe. So my left shoe was broken. And I was like, oh God, oh great. What am I going to do, right? I'm going to Japan the next day, and my left shoe is broken. Anyways, I was able to switch out of my other clothes, without causing any more damage. Thank the Lord. And then after, I was just preparing for the trip, downloading Netflix and Amazon Prime videos, trying to download audiobooks, trying to download books, that kind of stuff. I was also trying to sleep, but I failed. I was thinking about the trip, about my packing. Were there any batteries in the carry-on? Or they were supposed to be, obviously. Were there batteries in other luggage? That kind of stuff. So then the next day, the day we're departing, we prepare to leave. So I'm trying to fit my backpack in my carry-on, which I was able to do at my home, but I was not able to do in the hotel. So that was freaky. And then, of course, with my luck, the fire alarm goes off and we have to catch a shuttle bus to get to the airport. So we were like, oh gosh. So we just waited for it to go off and then waited for it. It was clear, waited until it was clear, and then went back, got our stuff, and went to the front. We were able to get on the shuttle bus. We did make it on time, but it was a little bit stressful. At the airport, I was able to include my carry-on as part of my checked bags for free. Thank you, WestJet agent. And I went through security, and going through security with a violin, at least for me, is so stressful. And my violin is probably not that expensive, but I just get so worried that they're going to look at it, they're going to break it. And then my other fear is I'm on the plane and they make me put my violin underneath. I don't know if anyone else has that issue. If you play violin or any other instrument, do you have that worry? Please let me know, because I get really worried about it. And again, my violin isn't that expensive. Anyways, the person, luckily, at security was very nice, and he was like asking what the instrument was. He was very careful with it. So that was good. I was glad. And yeah, it was super easy. Security went fine. And then I had a lot of time to kill, because I think we were leaving around 2 p.m. We were there at like 11 almost. Like we got there really early. I don't know why, but we did. Anyways, I called my mom and just told her I went through security and that was good. And then I found the gate, went back. I passed an A&W. So I went there and had my last food, my last chicken shrimp combo. It was sad, but anyways, did that. I just walked around after that, talked with other jet participants and waited. And then it was finally time to get on the plane, and finally we're going to Japan, and yeah, so excited. And I'm not going to talk a lot about the plane ride. It was decent. It was only 9 hours, which was awesome for me. And it was weird because it was Calgary to Tokyo. Last time I went from Edmonton to Vancouver and then Vancouver to Chubu. And that was about 13 hours, I felt. So this one was way shorter, and it wasn't that bad. The food was good. I tried to sleep, but I couldn't sleep. So at least I was able to play games and watch movies. So that was good. Good trip. Then we're we're arriving in Japan, and it was good. We arrived in Tokyo on August 5th, I believe that was August 5th. We went through customs, got our luggage, and then we were able to choose which luggage was getting delivered. So I just gave them my big bags because I didn't want to lift that. And there was nothing important in those. So it was easy. And then I went on the bus. And yeah, we went on our way to the hotel, which was the Keio Plaza Hotel. Now, I didn't mention this, but a few days prior to me leaving Japan, I posted on my Instagram saying I'm in Tokyo this time. Does anyone want to meet? And my friends from Nagasaki who live in Japan or Tokyo were like, yeah, let's meet. So I, for some reason, decided that August 5th was a good idea, which is the day I came in. And it was okay, but it was just a bit hectic, and I'll tell you why. So I told them originally I was supposed to arrive at the hotel at 6 p.m. So I think we're going to meet at 6:30. But using the bus internet, I found out that was incorrect, and I think I was going to arrive at 7 p.m. or something like that. So I messaged them, and we're figuring out the new time and blah, blah, blah. So that happened. Anyways, on the bus ride, we're looking at Tokyo, and it's really cool. Oh my gosh, that's Tokyo Tower, and hey, that's Skytree, and oh, what's that? Oh, it's Disneyland. So that was really cool to have that experience with everyone. It was kind of interesting. Yeah, it was a nice bus ride. And then we arrive at the hotel. And if you don't know what Keio Plaza Hotel is, it's a really fancy hotel, in my opinion, in Shibuya. There's two, but one's in Shibuya. And it's a hotel that I would never stay at personally because it's maybe probably too expensive for me. And I felt that I definitely did not belong in. And why would I think this? Because when I entered the building, right away, I noticed the huge chandelier. It's like, it was amazing. It was huge. I've never seen like that big of a chandelier before, and the crystals are amazing. So like, I don't know, as an Albertan Canadian from a super, super small town, I definitely did not belong there. But at the same time, I'm there as a jet program assistant, jet program participant. And I was like, wow, like this program is actually like serious because we're able to be here in this hotel. That was really cool. And I was originally thinking that, I could just get in the hotel and go to my room and then change and then meet my friend who told me that she would meet me at the hotel. But of course, in Japan fashion, we had an orientation. This orientation was short, thank the Lord. So I quickly caught the elevator after that and, changed my clothes because I was super sweaty. And my two roommates were not there. I was the only one in the apartment or hotel at that time. So I like quickly got everything. I just made a huge mess, but I had to go. So I didn't have time to clean it up. I met my friend at the hotel and we went to Shibuya. I wanted to get new shoes because my shoe was broken. And I think we passed Regal Shoes. That's what it's called. It's a store, Regal Shoes. And I was looking at the prices and oh my goodness, I didn't belong there either. Let's just say that. I also wanted to try and pick up my SIM card from Shibuya, but the building was closed too, so I wasn't able to do that, unfortunately. But yeah, we still did things. We went to Sushiro, which is a sushi conveyor belt business. My favorite one is Hamazushi, but we went to Sushiro. That's okay. And we had to wait so long. I don't know if my friends knew that, at least in Hamazushi, you can make a reservation on an app and then you can scan. I don't know if they knew that because we had to wait there and we just sat and for like an hour, it was interesting. Anyways, I was so tired at this time because I didn't sleep and I was really hot. It was the beginning of August. It was very humid and I hated it. Anyways, we finally were able to sit down. I got my sushi, my favorite cucumber sushi. I got some other types of sushi and it was good. And we talked and yeah, it was good. And then after that, they walked me back to my hotel. I went into my room. My two roommates were there. So we talked and then we kind of prepared for our first day of orientation. I ironed my clothes and I showered and that kind of stuff. So on to the next day, the first day of orientation. We woke up so early because breakfast ended at 11:30. Ugh. And yeah, the breakfast was good. There was some fruit. There was some tater tots. I had some orange juice. I think there was sausage too, maybe some pancakes. I was very happy. So yeah, we all went to, I guess for our first orientation, our first session, we all went to this huge room. And yeah, this room is amazing. The lighting is very nice. There's flags from various countries at the front. And I was thinking, oh, must be where delegates come. And we are here. I'm representing Canada. And it was really cool. At the same time, I'm representing Canada and I have a broken shoe that I have to wear because I didn't get new shoes. So when I'm walking around to go to different rooms or whatever, my left shoe is making such a loud noise that I can only describe it as like a clip clop. And yeah, I was doing really great at representing Canada at that time. Yeah, like I think during that time, during the first orientation, we just, met people, talked. There was some keynote speakers, and then I think we separated. So ALT stayed in that room. But the CIRs and Cs went to a different place. And yeah, like the rest of the orientation was good. I didn't really remember a whole lot, but I don't remember exactly what happened that day, but it was okay. And then day two happened. Again, the orientations, we had orientations, a lot of them, a lot of information. I don't exactly remember what happened, but I do remember trying to go to Shibuya Station to get my SIM card. So I didn't talk about this before, but I got my SIM card through mobile, Mobal. I chose mobile because I could cancel anytime and there wasn't really a fee in comparison to Sakura Mobile, which I used my first time in Japan. I knew that I would maybe get a different SIM card, but it would be nice to have one, so I just chose mobile. And I got an eSIM card, but for some reason I had to pick it up at a station. I couldn't use it automatically. Maybe that's how it normally works. Anyways, I didn't really know that mobile had its own kiosk at the building, at the hotel. So you could actually sign up there and get that all set up. I didn't know that. You can also, there's Sakura Mobile too. So if you're going to the JET program, if you got accepted, maybe wait. Don't do what I did, because I got mine shipped to Shibuya Station and I had to go to pick that up. So I wanted to, after orientation was done, I would go to my hotel or my hotel room to clean or change my clothes. And then I could go to the station. I would load up the Google map and, be on my way. Unfortunately, I couldn't do that because everyone wanted to go to their hotel room and the elevators were so slow. If I waited, I would have been I would have to wait an hour and I couldn't. So I just decided we're just going to go. I loaded up the map to the shop on Google Maps and I walked to the station. And of course, right when I entered the station, my map refreshed for some reason and I couldn't load the map back. So I was lost in Shibuya Station, which I don't think is that hard to do. It's pretty easy to get lost in Shibuya Station. It's like a maze. It's a maze down there. Anyways, after circling a little bit around the main area, I was able to find the currency exchange center where I was supposed to pick up my SIM card, and I did, and it was good. I got my SIM card, and I'm exiting the station at this point and I'm walking up the stairs and I noticed that my sole of my left shoe was separated more. And I'm like, oh no. It's almost off at this point. And I'm sweaty. I have such a huge sweat stain because I'm wearing a blue linen dress shirt. I look horrible. I'm representing Canada. I'm sweaty. I have a broken left shoe. I'm doing so good at representing Canada. So I had to fix this. And I couldn't, use my phone yet because I didn't set up my SIM card, but I knew I had to go to an ABC Mart, which is a shoe store. So luckily I was able to connect to free Shibuya internet. I found an ABC Mart. So I walk in and I immediately say, I need new shoes. And I show them the broken shoe and they're like, oh, yeah. So I told them I just want a brown leather cheap shoe. And that's exactly what I got. It was great. So I felt like a new person. It was so good. I was strutting my way down Shibuya Station. I felt like a fashion model. And I made my way back to the hotel. And yeah, I got to the hotel and I'm feeling really sweaty. And I had to quickly change before I went to a reception to meet other JET participants in my area. So I got there with my new shoes, feeling pretty cool, plated up my food, and I started walking around and I heard Gifu. And I turned around and I'm like, did you say Gifu? And I was like, they said yeah. And then I found out that around that table, there was a whole bunch of Gifu participants. So I got to meet them and that was awesome. I felt so happy. There's so many Gifu JET people. And I found one person that was going to my town or my placement exactly. And I was like, well, that's so cool. I met you. And that was really good. Really cool. And that was day 2. Now on to day 3, the last day of orientation. And at this point, I am so exhausted. The orientations are really hit or miss, I think. If you know about how to teach, if you know about Japan, then sometimes it's not the most useful. So I especially for the teaching stuff this, it was just linguistics, which I've done. So didn't find it useful. Anyways, I'm just ready to leave. I'm ready to be in Gifu. And yeah, after the orientations were done, Canadians were able to go to the Canadian embassy for a little reception. And, it was okay. It felt like a little orientation. They gave us a tour, an online tour of the embassy, and they talked about things that we've already been introduced to, like don't do drugs, blah, blah, blah. But they had ginger ale, so I was happy. Canada Dry to be exact. And yeah, right after the formal part of the orientation finished, I immediately left to Shibuya because I had to meet my friend who I met while I was an exchange student because we lived in the same apartment. And we met in Shibuya. We went to a little yakitori bar and it was so good. If you have never had chicken nanban, you need to get it. So what chicken nanban is, it's chicken, obviously, and there's tartar sauce, so like mayo with lemon juice, I think. And then the nanban sauce is like soy sauce, mirin, ginger. It's so good. And they really balance each other. And it's so good. It really hits your soul. It's a great food to have in an izakaya, which is like a Japanese bar. So we had that and yakitori, obviously, like other yakitori, but that was my favorite. And then we went to karaoke, which I really wanted to do. That was one of the first things I wanted to do while I was in Japan, was go back to karaoke because I have more songs to sing. And I was so happy and it was so good. And then I went back to my hotel. I did some packing, kind of got prepared for my trip to Gifu. I had to wear my suit. I got to wear my new shoes. And yeah, the next day woke up, said bye to my roommates, and then I left, had a really quick breakfast because I didn't have time. I had to meet the Gifu people, and then we walked to the train station, which was a bit hard. We got lost twice. But yeah, we went on the train to Gifu. And that's where I'm going to leave it for today. I'm going to talk about my time in Gifu at a later point. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you so much for listening. Just to summarize, I really want to stress this. Make sure to check to see if your clothes actually fit before you bring them across the ocean. Make sure to take off your shoes properly, or you might have a broken shoe like I did. And that's not good. And maybe pack lightly, so you don't have to worry about your backpack not fitting your carry-on because you pack lightly. It's just easier. Anyways, that's where I'll end it for today. Thank you so much for listening again, and see you later.